Hello, this is SeeWing Yee from the Yee Real Estate Network. Thank you for attending this podcast. And this podcast, we're gonna invite a one of our real estate investor to go over his experience of purchasing through our network and how he will explain what is his goals, what is his motivation to buy out of state remote turnkey properties in the market that he is purchasing, and he will go through each property, his personal experience, and how our resources and our team are able to help him. And then he will conclude this short podcast by discussing his future long-term goals, and then what his financial freedom goal is going to be. So yeah, it's a very refreshing to do this, and thank you so much. So without further ado, this is Yogesh. What I found is that Yogesh has been very, very ambitious, very motivated, very serious about his goals. That's why he has taken multiple actions so far. So Yogesh, feel free to describe your experience to our audience. Go ahead.
Hi, SeeWing. Thanks for giving me a chance to kind of describe my learnings, my journey essentially. So I wanted to say, I wanted to start out by saying that this is not easy to do, but you have to be well educated. So I've always wanted to be in the real estate space. What I had read about was real estate has made a lot of people build fortunes. It's something that you can pass on. It's multi-generational. Everybody lends you money to buy a house. Few people lend you money to buy stock. So, you want to buy a house. That's one of the things I learned about leverage. So I spent about a year researching on how I wanted to do this, and I couldn't get anywhere. At that point in time, I saw a course that SeeWing teaches at a local community college here. And COVID had just struck us, and it was an online course, and I signed up for that online course, and we spent about 3 days spending 2.5 hours each day going through the mechanics of how to do out of state real estate. I learned about the financial metrics. How do you analyze a property? Where do you find them? How do you know whether something is good or bad? At what point of time are you going to decide, yes, this I should do now, or this is too expensive, this is too cheap? Also, how to plan your goals. Why are you buying something? What's the objective? You want to cash flow now? You want to cash flow 10 years from now? You want to? Is it an equity play? Is it an income play, or is it a combination? And then how to identify markets? What numbers can you look at? How to know that if I look at the price of the house and I know the rent, what's the quickest and the fastest metric I can use and say, no, I don't want to do this, or I want to do that. So I spent about 3 days studying this. SeeWing has course material. You can go through it. You can ask him questions. And I spent a lot of time then applying that information. So that was the foundational aspect, because most of your fears come because of lack of knowledge, and you don't understand why something is the way it is. And once you learned once you learned the math behind it, once you've learned what to look at, you learned how to measure your risk and measure your reward, and how much money you're going to put in, and how to calculate your returns. Once you understand all of that, you can start analyzing properties. So that was the first part. So I got over that by studying, doing some analysis, going online. Zillow is a place you can go and find pretty much every property in the US. If you want to find how much does something rent for, you can go to Zillow. You can even go on Craigslist and see what people are renting things out for. How do you have to start looking at some of these numbers. And I built a spreadsheet. I started looking at my local neighborhoods here, realized that I cannot invest anything in California without me. It's just not possible. So, but I said, no, let me go 60 miles out. Let me go 70 miles out. I reached Sacramento. And then I went, started going 200 miles out, and I realized I still can't do it. And I said, okay, let's go up to Seattle. And I still can't do it. Go to Idaho, still can't do it.
Yep.
And then after a month of doing research, I said, it's never going to work. I have to do what SeeWing's telling me to do. I have to start looking at out of state. And for doing out of state, this is the second hurdle that you have to overcome. So you already learned how to find properties and see if the math works for you. And then the second thing is, how do I buy something 3,000 miles from here without seeing, knowing, or doing anything? SeeWing solved the second problem as well. Network. Right. That's very important. Right. You have to have a network. You cannot do this on your own. It is extremely difficult. I have friends who have tried. I've been trying for 3 years and they have 0 properties because they don't know who to trust. They are getting, they talk to multiple brokers. Everybody gives them different information. Right. They are not able to get references. They have no experience or cross-checking with somebody on how things work. With SeeWing's network, you have key people in the right places. So that yes, this person has been working with SeeWing for X number of years. You can actually get references. You can call them. I spoke to other people who had bought in the network, through the network, and had bought 5 years ago, 10 years ago. Some have bought recently. Some have bought 2 properties. Some have bought 4 properties. So I actually spoke to a lot of people. Good. I learned from them, and I said, okay, let's take the plunge in. And I started with 2 things in mind. That it's not one property that you're going to buy. It's going to be a portfolio. And like any other portfolio, you need to balance it out. You can't be heavily in one market. You can't be heavily in one type of property. You can't be only in B, or only in C. You have to diversify. And that's what got me thinking, okay, what does diversification mean in real estate? I know what it means in the stock market. I don't know what it means in real estate. So SeeWing, and I would spend 20 minutes, and he'd kind of try to explain things and said, okay, this market is this way, this works that way, this is the prices you're looking at. And I started, I subscribed to his newsletter, and everybody who's part of the network sends you different markets. They do a bunch of analysis. So you would have, the Southwest Florida market, and somebody from there will spend 45 minutes walking you through what has happened in the last 5 years and what they think is going to happen in the next 5 years. So you have a 10-year window in history, and that you can look at, and you can go cross-check all that information. So if somebody says Southwest Florida is the fastest, 5th fastest growing something somewhere, you can actually go and verify all of that stuff. So I went and I verified it, and I said, yes, this makes sense. And somebody will say, hey, the rents have gone up this much. Yes, you can go verify that because the information is out there. Yep. So I spent a lot of time researching, verifying, not because I don't trust the people. It's just because I have to convince myself that information is real, and how to find it, where to get it. And then I looked at different markets and what were the price points in there. And I started using the same numbers I was using in California now for Southwest Florida, for Central Florida, Alabama, North Carolina, Texas, Buffalo. So all these are the few spots where it kind of makes sense. And then I discussed with SeeWing what my fears were. That's very important. Since I don't understand anything about construction, I don't understand anything about how real estate works. What is the safest way for me to enter in, without having to worry about things breaking down? How do I make those decisions? So I think we came up with a concept. We came up with a framework that I can use for myself, and that was new builds. Let's go do new construction, because you have a 1-year warranty. The probability of things breaking down is just so low, right? If I buy a home that is 55 years old, things can go south. But if you know how to, if you've done that before, it's easy for you. I had never done it before, so I wanted to play it safe, but I still wanted to move forward. So we decided on new construction, and the first area that I kind of zoned in on was the Austin area. two reasons. One, because I know tech is moving there, because I work in tech. I have friends who had moved there. I know of companies that have moved there, and I knew that Austin is now what Bay Area was 15, 20 years ago.
Right.
So I said, okay, I had that knowledge. I pulled the trigger, got in touch with his Central Texas realtor there, and we spent half an hour. Like, we had a good consult. I spoke to him. I said, hey, this is what I want to do, and I'm looking for for new construction, and I'm going to use SeeWing's 6 different metrics. I have a spreadsheet. He's given me the formulas. I built my own spreadsheet out. I'll go key all this stuff in, and Ken was awesome to work with. He sent me pro formas, and I would just go plug them in, because I like to see information, in a spreadsheet. So I put that in. I said, oh, this one looks good. That one looks good, and it met my own goal of that I need X amount of dollars per house per year, so that every year the rents keep going up, but my mortgage doesn't go up, right? And my the thing that I was thinking about is, rents are like snowball. It will grow. It'll
Right.
keep growing. It'll keep growing. It'll keep growing. And in 10 years from now, I'm still paying the same mortgage, but the rent would have doubled, tripled, quadrupled based on where you buy. Right. So you have to keep those 10-year projections in mind. You would keep 10-year projections about appreciation in mind. The property will appreciate. So I looked at a bunch of them, and I pulled the trigger in Austin.
When was that? What month?
Austin was July of 2020.
Okay.
And
right in the middle of the pandemic. Okay.
At bang middle of the pandemic, and the way we did it was, I had done a study of the different developments that Ken was working with, and we narrowed it down to, we can do something here, we can do something there, and I worked with Ken. He said, keep your numbers ready, figure out what you want, and he went out there, and when the Santa Rita Ranch, where I bought, they would release 12 lots every week, 12, 15, 20, some number, and only a percentage of those are kept for investors. I got a call from Ken. It's 9 a.m. Hey, these 3 lots available. Look at it. What do you want? Yes, no, and I was able to pull the trigger in 20 minutes, primarily because I've done my research. I know what it's going to cost me. I have an understanding of how much it's going to rent. So you've done all your homework, and we got in, put our honest money down, brand new construction, one of the most reputed builders, in the US. Awesome experience. We went through everything. The builder provided me weekly updates. The builder is big enough, to not have, they didn't have any supply chain problems. They didn't have any labor problems. Everything was on time, scheduled. Closing was done, and we were able to rent it out in half a day, I think. Half a day, I think. Before I could even, it was rented out in half a day, or maybe one day at max, right? And when I called up and said, hey, when are we putting this? Oh, it's already put, it's already gone, it's rented. So I didn't really have to do much. What did I have to?
I'm sorry, what was the purchase price? What was the monthly rent when you closed that?
Yeah, so when we purchased, it was $258K, and we rented it out for $2,050.
$2,050.
$2,050, yeah. And
what city? What location? What city?
So this is north of Austin. This is Liberty Hill.
Oh, Liberty Hill. Oh, very good area.
This is north of Leander. It is about, I think, 12 to 15 miles on the toll roads to the Apple campus.
Yeah.
And it was awesome. So we were able to get rented out. Ken provided me end to end. His company property manages it for me. He bought it, walked me through the experience. His relationship with the builder was really nice. They would send me pictures. I'd get a weekly call. I got a video. They picked up my keys. They made sure everything got done. I had instructions on what I needed to do, how to get the utilities on my name. So Yeah.
all done remotely. You
I didn't even, yeah, I didn't even leave my dining room.
You did not really.
Yeah.
You bought property in your kitchen table, correct?
Yeah, exactly. Yes. And exactly, that's exactly what it is. And I got pictures, they showed me, Ken would drive by, um, the on-site realtor would, when she would drive by, she'd send me picture once a month. So I have, a couple of pictures that it's going up. It got rented out, and it was an amazing experience. So
let me ask you. I'm sorry. Let me ask you this: the property was at that time, in the summer of last year during the pandemic, 2020. You bought it for $258,000, and it rents for $2,050. So, am I to assume that you put 20 or 25% down payment? Am I
25 down.
to assume? Am I to assume your monthly net cash flow is probably $400 or even $500 monthly net? Is that true or false?
It's plus of 375.
375. Okay.
It is, yeah. So you will, when you work with SeeWing, the important thing is do the course before that. Like before you buy, sell, do anything, even before you start your research, because you will not know how to research a market or a property till you don't spend 3 days studying what the financial numbers are, right? And the other things you want to apply is what I did was, because I'm a conservative investor. I'm afraid. I'm overly cautious. I don't like to take risks.
Right.
And so I had to overcome all of those steadily. And I did that by understanding the math behind it, understanding how my financing is going to work.
Right.
How long do properties stay vacant in this place? If the vacancy rates are too high, I'm not going to do that. Right. I want to see median income. I want to see percentage of ownership to rental. So you can actually go on the US Census Bureau's website and put in a zip code, and it will show you 100 different statistics on what kind of people live there, how much do they make, how much does the family make, what kind of vacancies there are. You can study that entire city and that entire area. Yep. And decide whether you want to buy there or you don't want to buy there. So that was all the additional research I did on top of all the financial modeling that you want to do. And of course, that the network is also going to send you information. They will tell you that rent to value is this much, your total capitalization rate is this much. You need to use all these tools. That's the point.
By the way, Yogesh, do you have any idea? I'm curious. What's the value of that property today? We heading to June 2021.
It's probably gained 20%. It's probably gained 20%. I don't look at it because I want to hold that for another 10 years. I don't want to look at it and get excited on home. Oh, it was awesome, because for me, this Austin turned out to be both, at least when I bought it, turned out to be an awesome equity play.
Yes.
We never did it as an equity play. We did it as an income play. We knew there was equity potential there. And, it turned out to be great. My regret is I should have bought 4.
Yeah, exactly.
SeeWing told me, buy 4.
Yeah.
There was somebody else who told me, buy 4. Ken said, buy more than 4. And, I'm conservative. I bought 1. But that's okay. The important thing is to overcome. The first one is the hardest one. Which once you get over it, you understand it. You have learnings. So that was my whole thing with Austin. There are other markets in the US that are purely equity play, and you have to know that by seeing how much you're going to invest, what your mortgage is going to be, and how much rent you're finally going to get to cash flow.
Right.
There are times when those numbers are negative, but the equity play over 10 years, will get you something.
Exactly.
For me, real estate is, I want it to be truly passive. I have a property manager who's an expert at something, managing it for me. I have I have a pipeline that's well defined. I have a framework that's well defined. What do I want to do? I keep buying, keep building your portfolio, diversify, and then it's on autopilot.
Yep.
That's the goal.
Excellent.
Because I was working with the Southwest Florida market, which we'll talk about that experience as well. And what Justin told me was, your mortgage will not go up. Rents keep going up. Don't see the numbers every year. So I went into Excel and I built something where I said, okay, the rents are going to continue to grow up. Your cash flow will increase. Your net cash flow is going to increase every single year. And that's what we don't think about. We don't think that 10 years from now, this will be cash flowing so much more. So you plan your purchases that way. So the second property that I did was in the Southwest Florida market. We started off in La Belle, and it was extremely attractive. We had a local builder who I think probably overcommitted.
Right.
And like any small and local builder, they had difficulties during COVID, primarily because of the supply chain of material, which if you go in and look at reports, and if you look at different websites, people knew in advance that yes, there would be lumber shortages. Lumber has, I don't know, doubled or tripled SeeWing. You probably know better, right? It's tripled in price. Then all the stimulus money, when I spoke to the builder, the construction workers were not showing up because they were making more on stimulus checks than they would coming and working. So there was a lot of labor problem. And local builders, it's difficult for them to absorb all of this. So rather than getting disappointed, I met with SeeWing, I met with our local contact Justin over there, and we said, okay, let's change our strategy. Let's play it safer, which means you go with a builder that is renowned, a builder that is national,
right.
And you will pay more. But you are paying for that safety. You're paying for that peace of mind. You're paying for that reliability. You're paying for that consistency. You're paying for, they will be on time. And if they're not on time, you will know that well in advance. So we went with another nationally, top 4 national US builder. And instead of doing La Belle, I actually went and did Cape Coral. I went in, studied the market, saw the videos, spent about an hour or 2 maybe discussing strategy with Justin on what he thought, where we should purchase, how do you look at different lots. He taught me how to look at what is around, what is local. I went in on Zillow, looked at how much rents, how much things were renting for, how often they were renting. Then I would work with Justin on how soon rental properties were coming on the market and going off the market, how many days of inventory they had. So I kind of learned all of that from him. And once you know the right questions, which you will learn, of course, as you go through the process, then I kind of figured out that Cape Coral is probably, that's a place I want to be in. So he started looking at lots for me, and he would send me the lots, and I'd go, type that into Google Maps, and I'd see what is around. I'd see what kind of homes were sold, what kind of, is there a Starbucks close by? I always go look at, how much Starbucks is there? Is there a Whole Foods nearby? Is there a Trader Joe's nearby? Is there a local, the Safeway nearby, the grocery store? How close is it to a Home Depot, or how close is it to a Walmart? Schools. So you kind of see what's in a 1 mile, 2 mile radius, and that's how you can narrow your choices, because somebody will give you, hey, these are the 10 things to choose from, and you as an investor should know that I want to do number 3 and not number 8, because number 3 is closer to someplace, and it's so you have to go down in, and thanks to technology, you can the Cape Coral property that I looked at had pretty much everything in a 1 mile radius, and I was like, that's it, that's the one we want to do. You will get localized expertise. That's how the network works. Justin says, yes, this is an awesome one, that's an awesome one, that's an awesome one. So from 10, he'd probably narrow it down to 3. He won't make your decision for you. They're advisors. So you have to know how to narrow something down. And we found we found something that was really nice. Price was attractive. Pulled the trigger, and we got in.
So what was the price on a?
On the second one, it was 289. I think 289,400. I remember that because it's more recent. Yeah, so 289,400, yeah. And
the single family home, right? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, single family home, 289,400. Really nice area in Cape Coral. It developed. There were only 2 plots of land in that entire block over there, and I also happened to be a little lucky because somebody had canceled on that, and I was, Justin had first pick on it, and he said, we can go with what you had decided, a week ago, or I have this new one, which you need to tell me in 20 minutes. Now, why was I able to make that decision really quick? Because I had studied the local market. I had studied that location, and I knew this location that Justin gave me was much better than what I had a week ago, because that lot was already bought by somebody else, but they didn't happen to get it. So I made this pivot real quick. I said, okay, no, let's do this one. It looks better, and Justin gave me thumbs up. He agreed, and we went in and got the whole thing signed and done in a few hours. Monday morning, we were on.
Okay.
In fact,
the house is still under construction. If it's still under construction, when will the house will be completed?
I'm hopefully end of August, and I'm fairly confident this will be rented out in under a week. It is a nationally renowned builder. Yes. They do also call me every week without fail, and give me an update.
Good.
And they tell me exactly what they're doing. That way, and I ask them questions on, hey, how does it look? Are you on track? Are you on time? So I can plan for getting my closing money, and I can plan for when we're going to rent. It just you want to work with somebody who is a national builder if possible, because they have the framework in place, they have the processes in place to get you things. It might be a little more expensive, but that's okay, because you have safety, you have reliability, you have predictability, you pay for all of those things.
Right.
I'm risk averse, I'm conservative. So I will buy things a little more expensive, but I know for a fact that I'm going to get a quality product.
Right. I hear you. What is the projected rent on that property?
That would, the projections are going up actually. We started out at, we started out at 2050, then we kind of figured out probably 2150. Then I went back and I looked at some and spoke with Justin. Justin said, yeah, we can probably get $100 more. So the rent projections keep going up because the prices have gone up. And a similar home is now probably 15% more expensive.
Exactly.
So I already have that equity now. Cape Coral turned out to be an equity play as much as it turned out to be an income play. So it's happening.
I mean, you took action quickly. If the monthly rent by the time August, when your home is completed, I believe your rent could be $2,100, maybe even $2,200. So if you look at the $289 purchase, which you lock in the purchase price, you lock in the interest rate, hopefully, and with $2,200 monthly rent, and you put 20 to 25% down payment, you could have a monthly net cash flow at least $300 to $400. So those are good numbers.
Positive of 300, yeah. So we'll be somewhere between high 300s.
Yeah.
The other key thing is one thing I learned was you will have negative or very poor cash flow if you are in places where the HOAs are very high.
Right.
The Austin property has $60 HOA. Florida property has no HOA. There are other markets that I look at, but the HOAs are so high that you will never positive cash flow there.
Exactly.
And I've stayed away from those. I love those places. They are in Southwest Florida, and I'm trying my best to make the numbers work. You just can't do it.
Yeah, exactly. Very hard. But by the way, by the time you close escrow in August, that Cape Coral, Florida house will probably increase in value beyond the 280K that you
signed. Yes. It's actually already gone up, because there was so Justin, for reference, 3 weeks later sent me, hey, the same builder sold the same house for 25 or 30K more.
Yep.
Which is going to close 2 weeks, probably 2 or 4 weeks after you. So I mean, we've locked in some of these equity gains, and and that's continuing to happen. So my theory has now become, properties are good if you can find a balance between the income and between the income and the equity in the equity play. There are ways to balance both of them. There are other places I have looked at, primarily Buffalo, where they're purely income plays.
Right.
They're 1.2, 1.5% rent value.
Right.
They're 60-year-old properties. They only cost 70,000.
Right.
I'm not ready to do that because I don't understand what problems I can see in a home that's 70 years old. But
Right.
if you can, maybe you can do that. You can buy 10 of those, and it's the 10 of those is equal to 2 of what I've done.
Right.
So and that's not for me. It's something it's like, I don't like chocolate ice cream. I don't like chocolate ice cream.
Right.
So I'm not doing those. And then there are pure equity plays where you have a negative $70, negative $100 cash flow, but the equity potential is tremendous.
Right.
Again, something that I don't want to do. So on the scale, I'm somewhere in the middle, and
Right.
and that's what I figured out that for myself. And you could be on either side of the scale, and still do well, as long as you know the risks, you know the rewards, you know what numbers you're looking for, and you know how to do your due diligence. And that's what I've learned over the 2 properties. I did make mistakes, and the one mistake was, I should have doubled down every time, both in Cape Coral and in Austin, and I didn't do that. But again, hindsight is always 20/20.
Right.
People did tell me, SeeWing did tell me get 2 in Cape Coral. People did tell me get 2 in Austin. I didn't do it. But so now when I look at things, I need to find the next property in the next market at the right price. So I'm not going to do one. I'm probably going to do 2. Because if the numbers are screaming out at you and you know it, then you should double down.
Right.
So the other things that I've learned is try to stay with, if you're like me, try to stay with nationally renowned builders, because they have enough capital and resources to absorb shocks and variances in the real estate market. They have a process they follow, and you will pay more, which will make your numbers look a little bad, but you can sleep knowing that you're getting a quality product.
Yeah.
So that is what was important. And Justin, who I worked with in Southwest Florida, he kind of understood that that's what I was looking for. So now whenever we talk, it's always a nationally renowned premium builder that we work with.
Exactly.
Florida was the same. I didn't have to leave my my living room. All happened over text messages, all happened over phone calls, it all happened over DocuSign or whatever the builder is using. In fact, I actually went and got myself the ability to wire funds directly from my online banking, so you don't have to go to the bank.
Wow.
I said, I don't want to show up. I don't want to drive, take an appointment, put on a mask, meet with the banker to wire earnest money, $1,000, $3,000. So I've actually got my limit raised up to $10,000, so I can wire, log in 8 a.m., wire the funds, call the dealer to say, okay, you should get this soon. And so I don't need to go to the bank. I'm working on making this. My laptop is where I'm buying and renting. So yeah.
Okay, so all right, what's your next action plan for the rest of this year and even beyond? What is your real estate portfolio is going to be like? I mean, and then beyond that, what's your long-term goal again?
So my long-term goal is, I want a certain amount of cash flow from my real estate portfolio to kind of help me get to my income replacement. Right? So my long-term goal is I want income replacement without having to spend 40 hours a day. In my case, 60, 70 hours, 60, 70 hours a week working. So it's not an easy goal. real estate is one of the components that I need to do that. And and the way to do it is you start early. If I could go back in time 15 years and tell myself to, I would say, buy as many as you could buy right now. Because after 20 years, it's just the compounding effect is tremendous.
Exactly.
I'm too old. I should have done this 10 years ago. I should have done it 4 years ago, but
it's okay.
I'm not, better late than never. So I've started it off. My goal is to keep acquiring properties till I reach a certain number in cash flow, and use that and use the projections to see, can I get to income replacement? So there's other ways to make passive income. Real estate is one of the best ways to make passive income. And the other key thing that most people don't understand is there are a lot of tax benefits of owning real estate.
Yes.
And when you start seeing how depreciation works, how all the fees that you have paid to acquire and maintain and rent a property can be all written off in with intelligent tax planning. You'll realize that it has other benefits as well. So the goal is to continue. I'm trying to get more and more aggressive, which means I'm not going to take more risk, but I'm going to get smarter on finding properties. And what I like is a balance between income and equity, which means it makes it harder for me to find something which has both.
Right.
It's really a lot easier to go for plain income. There's just plain income play. It's easy. Folks can do it. I'm in the middle, so it is harder for me. I work on it now. I spend hour researching every weekend, looking at things that people are sending me. I will continue to buy one property every 6 months for as long as I don't reach that number in positive cash flow. Once you've added everything up, hopefully hold that as long as I can. Tax advantages. And the other thing that SeeWing pointed out a long time ago was that you will build generational wealth. And I didn't think about that as much, but now I think about it a lot. And if I am to give these 10, 12, 15, 18, 20 properties to my kids, they're out of school, they go to work, they already have passive income coming in.
Yep.
And that's amazing, because if I go back 30 years from now or 20 years from now, I said, if somebody left me 10 properties with passive income, my life would have been a little different. I would have done different things. I would have taken different risks. So the idea is for me to benefit and to pass this on as generational wealth, and the kids continue to have a source of passive income, which is the best thing a parent can do, for their children, is give them something that already works and already makes money without them having to do anything.
Wow.
That's the key thing. So there's the tax thing. There's the tax thing, the benefit. Real estate, people will pay you to buy, to buy homes. So you can get everything funded, and you can pass it on. I'm now buying everything in a trust that the kids are beneficiaries of. We will continue to do that.
Right.
And the goal is to continue to leverage financing. I work with Richard, and as long as I can do it, I will continue to do it. So the goal is to build a balanced portfolio. Another personal goal I have is to now start researching pure income plays or pure equity plays and be comfortable with taking those kinds of risks. So do I want to buy something that has 1.5%, 1.3% rent to value? Am I comfortable doing that? That's a personal goal I have, which I might do next year if I get more comfortable with it. But yeah, so I'll still, you still need to have a balance. You still need to have a sufficient number of homes in your portfolio to get to a sizable cash flow. 2 or 3 of them won't cut it. I've realized that, and a number needs to be anywhere between 10 and 20.
Exactly. Wow. I tell you, Yogesh, you have touched on so many areas of real estate investing, which something that I've been teaching my investors for so many years. And what differentiate you and most other investors that you took action. Too many people have analysis by paralysis, right?
Yes, I was just about to say that I have some friends who I've been trying to get into real estate investing, and they do suffer from analysis paralysis.
Right.
It's they look at the minute details, and they don't zoom out, they don't focus out and see the big picture. And I've learned that by talking with people, and they'll say, think about 10 years, think about how things are going to change. Rents have always gone up. Property prices have always gone up in areas where there is demand, where there are companies moving in, there's work coming in there, people are migrating there. It will always keep going up. So don't worry about the $10 up or down. Don't worry about 1 mile difference. Don't worry about the color of the cabinet. Look at it purely from economics. Look at it from what the product is. Don't use much of your emotions. I don't try to get attached to to the home emotionally. But I do look at numbers. So do look at numbers, right? But don't look at numbers so much that you don't let the numbers drive everything. Like you might say, oh, I will not do anything below 0.8. Guess what? You might not find anything.
Right.
You might never do anything. You can sit all your life and you might not find something, and so you have to be flexible to the point where you know that, yes, this looks good, and let's take the risk. There's risk in everything. Stock market, COVID, 30% drop. Yeah, it happened. Everything we did took a hit, but it came back up. Right. There might be another one. I don't know. The fear of the future, you can't.
Right.
Yeah, you can't worry about these kinds of things. You just have to be smart about it.
Wow. Well, Yogesh, I tell you, I mean, I would, love to talk more, but we are just about running out of time. Everything you said, it just resonates with me. Something I've been teaching all these years. Like I said, you are a model real estate investor, and yet, you just started real estate investing, and yet you have exhibited all these good traits that any successful real estate investor needs to have. So I really congratulate you for taking action, for, just pull the trigger, and your short-term goals, long-term goals are really very inspirational. And you're going through the journey, right? And all the current volatility, all the chatter, all the doom and gloom negative information that are being put out there by so many different people out there, the YouTube entertainers, they talk about crash and correction, this and that. But at the end of the day, real estate, if you think long term, right now, I know we're getting, record low inventory, supply chain problem, high demand for, and then interest rate is on a historical low. So you think you're doing everything what a real estate investor should do. So I would love to have more people like you that think the way you think. So it's a pleasure to work with you. We have created our network, my network, the Yee Real Estate Network. We have great partners in each market. Ken Renner representing Central Texas, in Austin and San Antonio. San Antonio is also a very good market. And Southwest Florida, Cape Coral, I have another market representation. Justin is at Wagney. And we have a few other markets that you can diversify into. So I enjoy working with you. Your message is very inspiring. The other investors right now, many of them, though sitting in the sideline, they need to embrace your message. And I will pass your message in this video presentation along to not only to my inner database or my network, but out to the YouTube channel. So it's a pleasure, working with you. My networking myself will help you, guide you along to continue to help you with your real estate portfolio over time, take action every step of the way. And love love the journey that you are taking. We do it as a team. We do it as a together. Now do you feel more comfortable? Again, I'm saying this at the bottom of my heart. I mean, you know, just hearing this presentation is giving me some chill. It's just so wow. This is mind-boggling. People need to hear your message. So thank you so much for taking your time out of your day to spread the message that risk investing is you can achieve a lot of goals, and you gotta stay disciplined. You gotta be focused. You gotta do the homework. You gotta trust your team. You trust your team, but verify. Trust but verify.
That's exactly it. So yeah, that's what I do. It's not that I don't trust them. I want to be I verify for my own peace of mind, so I can sleep well and I know I made the right decisions. And and there's a lot of research that you need to do. And the amazing thing is, it's only like, everything is just one Google search away. You can find every piece of information on everything. You need local experts to actually be there for you, but you can actually find a lot of things. And if you have the information, you can discuss it. The conversations get a lot more intelligent, and the network starts respecting you because you're asking the right questions, and they know that, yes, this person has done the study, they know what they're talking about, and you will get a high level of interaction with people in the network once you demonstrate that you understand what you're doing. And that takes study, it takes time, it takes research. Take the course. Don't start without taking the course. SeeWing teaches this, I think, probably twice a year. Take the course, understand, and study, research, and then you can take the steps.
Absolutely. Well, we run out of time. I would love to talk more. We're going to invite you back to do some future podcasts to share with your journey to your long-term real estate investment goals. And Yogesh, thank you so much for your time, for sharing this great inspirational message. And so thank you so much. We'll work together to achieve your goal. And thank you very much for everybody for watching this. This is SeeWing Yee from the Yee Real Estate Network. Have a nice day.
Thanks. Thanks, SeeWing. And thanks to all the folks I work with. It's been amazing, and it's just the beginning. Actually, I'm still probably 15 properties away from finishing up. So this is the first step.
Awesome. I love this. I love your journey. So take care. Thank you so much for your time.
Thanks. Bye.
Okay. Bye bye.